disais, non, demande-moi pas ça.
Quand je fais ça, c'est parce que je coupe là, vraiment, d'accord? Donc, juste pour que tu saches.
Je comprends le concept de l'édition vidéo.
Putain, le mec, en train de me pourrir le truc. Ok, c'est bon, on est parti. Welcome to Naked episode 3, already the episode 3. We are here with Phil and Matt, the two Frenchies speaking in English. And Matt, what is naked?
Naked is something that we cannot define every time that we do the podcast.
But it's about authenticity.
Yeah, we're going to talk after about my super amazing mood today. But since we're naked, and even if we don't feel like recording, we're going to record. And it's probably going to be way better at the end.
So the small rules.
Yeah, this is naked. This is true. It's not
the small rules for everyone, just for them to know, is that we record in one shot, no edit. So even if we speak on each other, it's going to be like that in your ears. And the topic of the day of the episode 3, we don't know it yet. But how are you today, Matt?
I feel like shit, and
Great.
I'm sure I'm going to feel better after that. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Look, I have my glasses today, so I look more serious.
Yeah, you look amazing with them. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure on Tinder it works better.
Yeah, no, I don't use Tinder. I just use Bumble. It's okay.
So should we talk about the dating app, feeling like shit and what to do with it, or should you wear glasses?
No, the subject. So yeah, this week, I mean, it has been all right. But I have interviews. I did some interviews for a job, so which was cool. And I think there is a subject that I would like to talk about, which is, and I know that you like that subject also, which is about having fun.
Oh,
and also, since you're in a good mood for that, I think it's the best intro, in the best mood to talk about fun.
Well, we could have right on the show a transformation of someone feeling like shit, and by using the having fun, feeling better after. That's what I envision. This is my
and for everyone, the Matt serious is a Matt with his hair attached. So yeah, this is why he's less like Jesus. So anyway. So why talking about fun is because I got this so I'm a product manager in real life to earn money, and I got this question, how do you work with people, and what is important for you, and all these things about the relation. Product manager is someone that is a center, it's an enabler inside a company, so obviously you don't exist without other people. And so, I got these questions, and this is why fun for me is really important in your job. This is why I want to have your input about fun. What do you like so much about fun and having fun? Why is it so important for you?
Well, I believe that's the purpose of life. So nothing less. I think we're here to have fun, and have fun for me is experience. You probably won't have fun every day if we do that in the context of a job, because you don't always choose the people you work with. Definitely some days can be more stressful than others, but I totally agree with you that it's really, really important to have fun. And I think it's good to define have fun. It's not like going crazy at the office and bringing your alcohol and just like all crazy shit like that. But having fun is more having a positive outlook, having just being, well, if you're yourself, even at your job, you're gonna have way better interaction, in my opinion, with people. So you gotta mix. I think in job, from my own experience, what I had like jobs in the past, before I started my own business, and it's just too much serious. Yes, it needs to be serious, but I think the balance should be found between between productivity around seriousness and productivity around fun and happiness. Because if your employees are happy and they are happy to come to work because there's a fun atmosphere, which in turn can really bring them to be more productive, more efficient. So it's a really good point that you're bringing, Phil, and I want to have your take on that.
Yeah, I love this topic. Because for me, like if you forget, there is 24 hours per day. Let's say that you sleep 7-8 hours, so you're awake 16. Let's forget the commute because we are in time of COVID, so there is no commute right now. But if you think about the commute and everything, so you spend approximately half your life at work, even more, but you're awake. Imagine the misery that you're gonna have is if when you go to work it's not fun or you don't have fun. And yeah, your job may not be fun. Like we can't have all the job that is fun, and we can't have job every day, as you said. But I believe there is a way that the job could be fun. And it's a big responsibility, to be honest, on everyone, not just on manager, or not just on leaders or something like that. Yeah, there are some people that are extrovert and introvert, and we can talk about that. But fun for me is so important because this is where you, as you said, like I think people are more productive. People will not leave a company. They care less about other stuff, yeah, I think that's my take on that.
What do you think about it? So is it a job in itself that can be really not fun or fun, or is it always your attitude towards it? Is it always you that would decide? Like a janitor, can a janitor has, and I'm not saying that job is less or whatever, I'm taking a random example. Can he do his job with fun, and can another janitor do his job with so much resentment? And the same thing with a burger flipper at any restaurant, or even a CEO of a company. Like, do you believe that's really the job in itself, or what do you think about it?
If we talk about companies, I work in big corporates, and I work in 100,000 people in the world. I work in small companies, startups, and all that. Where startups got it good, it's because they understood that they take a higher risk in working in startups, and so you need to have an environment and a culture that is bringing the most out of people, that people love being there. Now, I'm not an advocate about because you put a foosball table that suddenly your employees are going to become happy. It's nothing to do with that. For example, fresh air that you can have at work or having natural light makes people more happy than having a foosball table. And this has been proven by studies, in the Harvard Business Review and everything. Like people have, we'll put the link as usual on everything that we talk about. But yeah, natural light. So for example, I think Amazon in their last headquarters, they put these areas where people could have walks, these kind of bubbles, and people can have fresh air and everything. So it's more important than that for people to be happy. So to answer your question, because it's a really hard question, can janitors, can personal assistants, CEOs, chief of staff, IT engineers or whatever, be happy in their job? Obviously, a lot of jobs, are repetitive tasks, and you can't change that. It's, but the way you approach your job can change a lot of things. Now, the culture you're in also can change a lot of things. So I can't answer like so straight.
No, sorry. That's a perfect answer. That's a perfect answer. I'm always bringing kind of the philosophical side of.
Do you think like, because you bring that, so do you think it's in the head of people? But let's imagine that you do a job that is really annoying. Like, I don't know, like you're, people that are in the supply chain, you're building bikes or motorbikes and you're in the supply chain, that they know, like through Toyota or whatever. Do you think that those people can be happy, or even with their job and everything? It's more an outlook that you have on it.
Well, the answer to your question that I believe is yes. Can they be totally happy and fulfilled? Yes. Can they be totally miserable? Yes. Um, it's because me, my belief. Everything starts from you. Everything starts from how you view your life, how you view yourself, how you interact with people. Your personal relationship with yourself will make in turn that the relationship you will have with your coworkers or your friends are going to be different depending on how you interact with yourself. So, is it a possibility? Yes. Can it be super hard? Yes. Can it be super simple? Yes, also. It really depends. It depends on where you start. Like let's say I'm happy at what I do. Like let's just take the example of the podcast. Um, you would ask some people to just start a random recording with no subject and go on a podcast that they're gonna know that it's gonna be published. A lot of people will freak out, like totally freak
They will
out,
not
and
do
I
it.
would probably
They will not do
yeah, they
it.
would not do
How
it
many people are
at
like,
all.
no, no, oh, it could be a good idea if I do that.
Yeah, and I was the same before. Like that Sunday today that we started that, but we spoke about it for years.
Years, well,
So yeah, well, years go fast, man.
that's true. That's true.
So 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 it can be it really depends where you start from and how you approach your view of things. Um, because if you have really bad habits of negativity, let's just put them into one family, like just negative habits. Well, you're fighting your own brain, so you gotta it's a long road to change those negative habits and then being more positive. And if you're more positive, you're gonna change the structure around you. So you may have a new job, you may have a new partner, like everything will kind of bend in the direction of your internal transformation. So if you are my point is, if you are unhappy, can you become happy in your job? I believe so. Where do you have to start? On yourself, not on your job. Your job is the actual job you are in right now is the reflection of what you build, what you created in the past. So if you change yourself now, don't focus on your job. Maybe by changing yourself, you will change your outlook on your job, and then you will become happy at that particular job. But maybe to change your outlook will make yourself realize that you don't want to be in that job anymore, and then you're going to change job, and your next job you may be happy to it. So and I got that
So I just
it's my
sorry,
personal experience.
I'm stopping you there. I just want people to understand, because it's not the first time that we talk about that together. So you're saying, and let me paraphrase you, and I just want people to stick on that
Yeah.
point. You believe, and you said that to me multiple times, that people attract what they are inside. So what I mean is that if you have a feeling, tell me if I'm saying it wrong. I know that you use that sometimes. I just want to come back on that
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
like,
Well, what I believe strongly is that you have power over your reality. So you can change, bend, attract, repulse anything in your reality. So yes, like are you like it's not even important to go to the extent or of are you the sole creator and do you control everything in your reality. For me, that point is like later. It's not really important in a normal discussion about, let's say, being happy at job, because the point is more, do you think, can you believe that you can have power over it? Like if you have some power over it, then you can change. So yes, if you change yourself, what the outcome that are going to be in your life are going to be different. Is it because you attract them? Is it because of um, other reason, I don't really know, but what I know and what I have experienced and what I believe strongly is that if you change your own outlook and you transform your thoughts, how you view life, how you view the people, then there's going to be different outcome in your life. New situation will arrive that they were not there before, and everything will start to shift in a direction which is always in accordance to who you are. So yes, I totally believe that.
And it's I think it's coming back a bit to our topic from last week about the true identity. And it's good to know, like you were saying, about what you have power on, which is yourself, but it's also good to notice what you don't have power on. So, you know, because it shouldn't affect you. Like most of the people sometimes are like just being, you know, bored or pissed at something that is happening, but it's not in their control. You know, you can't do anything if there is no, I don't know, clients or something happen in the law that makes your business, you know, work harder or things like that. And I think it's important to not get attached to that, to separate that also. And it's both. You're right. It's totally.
You make a really good point, because you may not control those external circumstances, but one thing you have always, like you can have always power over, is how you react to all that. Because when I say you can have power over that, it's because if you are really functioning mostly on your subconscious habit, even if someone, like, even if you listen to the podcast and you're like, oh yeah, I would like to be aware of myself when I react to something and change it. Well, there's a good chance that when something will arrive, you won't have the awareness, or all your subconscious pattern will kick in, and you will just continue to react that way. Or it's maybe just a day later you're gonna think like, wow, I wanted to think about that differently, and I wanted to act differently, but finally the same thing happened. But it's because you run on background pattern in your mind. So, but you got to develop that awareness. You got to develop. So yes, you can. It may be hard, maybe long, but you have the power to become aware. And then if a coworker next time come to you and say shit about you or whatever, well, maybe you'll find yourself not reacting and just looking at the situation. And then at the moment that you stop to look, now you're in control, and now you can decide which way you want to go. And it can be really different to what you've been before. So by changing these little things, your environment can change, your happiness at work can change. And yes, if I take back the example of the janitor, in my mind, I can totally imagine some janitor out there that are like dancing with their, I don't know what's the word in English for the thing that mops. Broom. The broom, yeah. Dancing
on,
with their
Halloween
broom and
soon.
singing.
You should
all
know
alone,
that.
Their big.
The witch with a broom.
It was not broom. It was the mopping one that I didn't know. And I can totally see other one that are just sad and smoking cigarettes after cigarettes, and just resenting their job and whatever. So if it's possible for me, it's always like that. You know me, like if I think that one person can achieve something, I think that everyone has the possibility to achieve it. It's not that everyone can achieve the same thing, but as from the point that if we can prove that there's one unhappy janitor and there's one happy janitor, then from this point, any janitor can be unhappy and any janitor can be happy, in my point of view, in my opinion. And so yeah.
So welcome back. And why welcome back is because we had an internet issue. Mass lost his Wi-Fi, and if you have heard something weird, it's because of that. So yeah, we're gonna start back. And I was saying to Matt, based on what you just said, is that I had a quote from an anime, which was my thing. It was saying that uh, human beings are strong because we can change ourselves. Uh, and so it will go with what you just said, and this is why I like this one.
Yeah.
And I want to come back to a link of fun, and not necessarily just about job, not necessarily just about the job, but just more of the outlook of life. And once you know yourself, as you said, like you have another perspective about what you have power on and what you don't have power on. um, how can you have this outlook of fun, I will say? What is your thing for you to have fun?
Well, I think for me, my thing to have fun is to just let go of judgment. That's a big one for me, and I think it's big for a lot of people too. Because let's say you want to come back to the little child in yourself that just want to have fun and that just don't care about what other people think. So I think a lot of the fear that's generated to sometimes just let go with your impulses is to what the other people are going to say, or like, should I be really myself? Should I be really having fun, or in that particular setup? So for me, yes, for me, it's to just say whatever. I really have the whatever attitude. Should I do that? Buff, whatever. Like it really helped me
Are you like in
to just jump in
are
the
you,
fun.
are you like in I have nothing to lose mindset when you say whatever?
well, well,
Or what is the worst case
what do we
scenario that
really
can happen?
have? Yeah, that's exactly like, what do you really have? You have yourself, and all the rest. You bring a good point. I'm not attached to other really things or situation. Or yes, I'm more attached to people I really love, and but I've done that, like my personal experience. I told you, like I just in the past years I got rid of all my things, and then I came up with just a couple of boxes with like the main things that I want to keep. But it really taught me about that what you just have is yourself. And I remember Steve Jobs talking about that, saying, "In the end, we're all naked." So,
What do you
and
mean? Like
that's
when he was
quite.
talking about he was living on a bed on the floor? You mean, or what?
No, I think it's what he meant is like, we all gonna die. Whatever you accumulate in your life, or whatever you deal with, anything, we're all naked because we have just ourselves, really. And you're gonna live with yourself all your life, and that's what you should focus on. So if you focus on that, and if you don't do it because of something else, you're not being yourself. So if you just think that you only have yourself, you want to be happy, you want to do what is you, and you want to not be stopped by outside forces. And the more you do that, the more you realize that you are enough. You have enough with what you have, being you. So if you want to jump into something and have fun, but your fear comes in, and you're like, oh, what they gonna think of me, or whatever. Well, it just stops you from being you, because that's your impulse. You would like to do that. So I think the whatever attitude is like you just slash your fear. The fear comes, and you say just whatever. So it just makes it really, and it's even a funny way to remove the fear. For me, I have fun having the whatever attitude. And if I would not have developed this attitude, I would not be doing that podcast with you, because I had to tell me that. I had to tell me, like, yeah, just do it, whatever. Like, whatever happened, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna learn. It's gonna maybe help some people have more clarity in their life, feel that they belong, and feel that they are understood. Or so, if on the other side we get laughed at and we're really bad and all that bullshit, I don't mind. Like, I say whatever. I'm having fun. So I have myself, and myself is really important. to me, sometimes it can sound a bit like egoistical, but that's not that. That's self-love, and that's a real good topic we could talk on another podcast. Also, it's how, what is the difference between being really, really narcissistic or egoistical and just loving yourself and making sure that you take care of you. But let's not go into that. Let's just go back into the fun. And I'm having so much fun doing this, like doing this on one take concept. Well, sometimes it's two take when it cuts in the middle,
when the
but
Wi-Fi is bad.
But still, it's raw, it's naked. That's what it is, and I'm really having fun doing it. So I would not have better things to say about having fun than just do it like you would doing it when you were a child. You were not sitting back and saying
that's
like,
weird.
oh,
That's
should
weird,
I
but,
go play with that?
Yeah, you're right. When people are growing up, it's like you can't do anything anymore. It's like you can't jump in the street, or you can't like jumping around and all that. Like it's almost like it's forbidden, or you can't be crazy, or you can be like yeah. It's fun that you talk about that. Like when you were a child, you were doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm for me. You need to keep the right balance of the child inside you and the adult inside you, because if you're missing one or the other, you're not gonna be as powerful or as good and fulfilled with yourself. If you're too adult, too serious, too practical, well, you're gonna miss all the fun of life. You're gonna miss a lot of emotion. You're gonna miss amazing relationships and all that thing. But if you're too childish, well, it may get you at some point into trouble, because at some point you live in an adult world. You need to take care of things. So you got to bring all that back into balance, and make sure that you value as much your adult side than you value as much your child side. And if you do that and you bring them together, for me, that's the best way you can live. And in doing so, you will have a lot of fun, because the child in you will make sure that you have fun.
Yeah, I like the whatever attitude. Whatever. It's so English. It's so English. Whatever attitude. Yeah, for me, it's I think it's a form of whatever attitude and a bit of selfishness. There is two parts. The what if part is I don't care about the future, which caused me some problems, especially in business. What I mean is that, you say what you want to say, and you're crazy if you want to be crazy and all that in meetings, but sometimes it's not necessarily the place, and you have to have the right audience around you. So that's the thing. But the second thing is I'm trying to get as much as possible from the present. And what I mean by that is extracting as much as possible. And I do it also like, whether it's at work, whether it's in meetings, whether it's meeting new people, in a bar or in an evening, or everybody's interesting. Everybody has something to tell. Everybody has a story. Everybody, you can learn anything, even if it's something will stay in your mind and you will use it after. I even use that in dates.
You've been having fun in dates?
We were about to talk about that. We had to talk about that. But it's like, you're meeting someone for the first time, right? You're meeting someone, you're there for the first time, and maybe you're not going to meet that person again or whatever. And it comes back to whatever thing. Whatever you say, like, try to have as much fun as possible. Because you don't know what is going to happen after. You don't know, you have only this moment, and once this moment is gone, it's gone forever. And I'm talking about that for everything, right? Everything.
That's amazing. I love the being in the present aspect.
Yeah, appreciate the moment that you're in, and it's also like, don't finish the meeting, even if the meeting was supposed to be 1 hour, continue it if you guys have fun. It's also that also in in business. It's not just, I don't know. I know that for me, like in business, I try to bring always one silly thing inside the meetings. I try to do that. try to do like one silly thing, talk about something that I did, talk about a TV show or a YouTube video that I saw or a meme or something like that, you know, like something that brings a bit of craziness and it's outside and it doesn't impact anyone. That's also important. Because yeah, people have hard time, you know, it depends on everyone, but people have hard time to be fun. And it's your responsibility, you know, as you said, in the end.
Yeah. And let's say, well, in my, I don't have the statistics on that, but I believe that most of the young children have had in their life some kind of fun. So that was reprehensible to be to do always silly thing or having fun. But what you said is really funny, because I was about to say some people have not learned to have fun. Then right after in my mind, I said, no, that's not that. We all unlearned to have fun with growing up, with the society, with the limits, the context, the mask, the filter, everything. So we unlearned to have fun, and it should be learned back. It should be something that come into everyone's life. And I wanted to make a point about what you said earlier, also, that like it brought you a bit of trouble in the past. Well, if you
Yes.
analyze it, it's really normal, because look at the world today. If I would ask you, like, take a guess, and is the majority of people happy or unhappy?
Yeah. Right now.
Well,
Sometimes.
especially right now. my guess.
Let me guess. So in Montreal, I mean, not where you're from, but the city is in a red zone. In France, there is a curfew at 9 p.m. In Spain, in some places, the bars are closed. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's fun. That's really fun right now.
Well, that's a really great example, because you can answer that most people are pissed and most people are unhappy. So if you come and you try to be happy, or not, you are happy, or you bring funny and silly things around, you may really get some bad feedback, because people are unhappy on a majority. So it's kind of normal. Like if you assume that you're gonna like switch tomorrow to be a happy person and just gonna spread happiness around and just make silly things and be a child, well, if you expect doing that and not having any bad feedback, you're totally wrong. Like, you need to watch, you need to look at it the right way. It's normal, and you got to be expected that if you are happy in an unhappy world, people not gonna like it that much. Yes, you're gonna find people that really enjoy it, and that's what you should focus on. But you must know that going to be seen as not important, is what inside of you is good. So you got these problems maybe before, but at the same time, it brought everything that you lived, brought you here at this moment, feeling like you are yourself, feeling like you're doing something that you like, and we having so much fun doing it. And if later on, let's take an hypothesis. If later on you will become super well-known and a podcast host, or like a writer or whatever, which is really yourself, well, all those bad things that happened to you in the past that maybe made you lose a job or whatever, all compiled up to be the version of you that was better. So you needed to do that. That was what you needed to do. But sometimes to be happy, you got to go through chaos. You got to go through hardship. But it always comes back to being yourself. If you do actions to be yourself, even if you have to go through some shit, after a while, it's going to be better, and you're going to be living with yourself better. Everything is going to be around you will be better. and that I believe strongly.
And I want to come back, like you said, like about learning. You know, if you remember people, like even if I say that, you know, I had some troubles, I'll learn through that. But when you remember and when you watch, I think the best way is to watch cubs. You know, like the animals. You know that you know, fights and everything, like the cubs and all that, and also kids, because you learn through having fun. They learn through fighting. You know, you learn. If you remember, you know, where you were at home and you were a kid and you were switching on and off the light, suddenly your parents were like, "Oh, you know, you're gonna break the you're gonna break the light bulb." Like, this is how you learn. You know, it was fun to switch and everything. And this is how you learn. You know, you learn also that if you jump from too high, even if it's fun, maybe you're gonna break something. And this is how you learn to not jump from so high. But that's the thing, is having fun is also what helps you learning. And when you were saying about unlearning, is because I think, you know, through school and everything, we make you learn by sitting down and not having fun, you know, like just push knowledge through your head, and this is how you should react and this is how you should be. But it's yeah, I think the learning points is really important. You're right on bringing that on.
I think you're bringing another good subject for another episode. The school system.
No, I'm not going to enter that. Sister is a teacher. I'm not going to go that way. But yeah, it's I think for me.
All right.
I think for me, it's and I remember. I think I remember one quote. But anyway, it's about pleasure. You know, fun. You know, it's about pleasure. It's about joy. It's about happiness. You know, it's all linked together.
You know what that makes me think is a super easy way to know if happiness and having fun should be important. Well, simply ask yourself, when let's say you walk down the street and then someone comes to you and just start juggling with some balls around, like, and he just smile, and he can start to sing, and you're there. What's your first impulse? Your first impulse, is it to laugh? Is it to say,
"Oh, that's silly," my money?
Like, yes, no, that's not an impulse. That's a thought. Your first impulse is, in my opinion, is a happy impulse. You're not gonna first impulse want to punch him in the face because he's having fun and he's doing something to try to entertain you. Maybe that's not a good example, but in life, your first impulse will never be like, I want to hurt myself. Your first impulse is gonna be, I want to have fun. I wish I would have some fun. And if you're deep into a depression, why are you so depressed? Because you're missing fun. You're missing life. You're telling yourself, I would like to be normal. I would like to have fun. I would like to live a normal life, enjoying the things. So when you miss fun and happiness, you feel wrong. You feel bad inside, in your bones. So being happy and having fun and letting the child in you speak is the nature of humans. And that comes back to what I told you, that I believe that the purpose of life is only to live. It's only to experience, and it's only to have fun. It's not to, I mean,
this is why all the, you know, all it's happening right now. This is why people are unhappy, because we are taking out all the pleasure that they have, you know, going to a bar, going out, you know, having a walk. You know, it seems like really simple. But when you forbid people to go to a place where they meet people, when they have fun, where they have a drink, where, you know, they can socialize and everything, you're taking off like basic needs, like basic pleasures. And this is what people feel right now, like it's so hard on themselves. And it's not just because we don't care about going to a restaurant, let's be honest. We can cook at home, we can have fun at home and everything. But like suddenly we tell you, oh, You can only meet if you're six, for example, or if you're the same household. And suddenly like people think, yeah, but I want to meet more people than six. And maybe you don't even have six friends, but in your head it's like, why I can't meet more than six people?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the point, and I think that's also the cure. It come back also to what we were talking about. The thing you can control is your reaction, and all the outside forces that try to remove your pleasure and your enjoyment of life and your happiness with the current situation. Well, for your sanity, it's really, really, really important that at some point you stop just feeding yourself with these negative energy, with these events that are going on, and that you just turn back and focus on how you can react in a positive way to that. How can you find things to do that gonna bring you fun? Like, let's say we take the example of us. We're having fun doing a podcast online, even if the Wi-Fi cuts and we have to do a little editing that we don't want to do really. We have fun, and I mean, I know people have worse situation than others, and I respect all of that. And some people have death in their families and everything, and it's kind of hard. My point is not that you should remove all of that from your mind and just focus on having fun. My point is, I think that the value of fun is not enough talked about. It should be in you. How you value fun and happiness should be an important one. It should be an important value. It should be valued a lot, and not put aside and say, oh, I'm gonna have fun if and when I have time or whatever. It should be a priority. That's what I'm saying. So when you can do it, you do it. If you're going through a divorce, or you're going through really bad situation, yeah, maybe yes, it would help. Maybe that's really hard to do it right now, but to keep the value of that high will really, really help you to come back when you can.
And it makes me remember a book, like when you were talking about happiness and all that, like it makes me remember a book that I read in 2008. So it was quite, I was incorporated at the time. It's called Delivering Happiness. It's by Tony Hsieh, which you write Hseieh. He's the CEO of Zappos. And he was one of the first one talking about culture and everything, and it was so important. And he bought back Zappos, the company. It's a shoe factory in the US, only in the US. And they were so good at what they were doing, which is delivering wow customer service, that they were bought back, I think, by Amazon in something like 2006 or 2004 for $1 billion, selling shoes again. And the funny thing that he talks about in there is that like we want our customer service, because this is what we're going to focus on. We want our customer service to be as happy as possible and do what they want to do. So, for example, things that they do that are really, and it's straight examples, is like they don't look at how much time you take to answer a customer. It seems like completely counterintuitive, because most of the people are going to look at the call center. They're going to be like, okay, you have 10 minutes per answer, and this is what you get to do. They were so known during a time, like in this book, they talk about that, is that you could call their call center and ask for anything. So people were making fun of that. And so they were in San Francisco or Los Angeles or whatever. And they called the call center of Zappos, and they were asking for pizza next to their hotel. And it worked. The guy answered and everything. It was like, because it's like deliver the best customer service ever. And you have all the tools to do it the way you want. And you have all the latitude to do it the way you want. And this is why I'm talking so much about culture, because I believe that this thing about having pleasure and having fun in companies, but also in your family, it's a question of culture. It's a lot of question of culture. And yeah, this one is a really great book that I recommend, that we will put into links below. And it's it's really good example, on what you can do.
Well, you brought a really good point, and maybe we can wrap up on this. Is that when you are happy, when you bring a culture of happiness, you bring that in other people. The
Yeah.
guys that were calling for pizza, they were just having fun. They were just laughing with their friend. Hey, let's go. We're gonna call the Zappos customer service and gonna ask for pizza. That's a really fun thing to do, but it was inspired by a company that put having fun and happiness at their core. So
Yeah.
you influence other people having fun when you are having fun. So that's amazing. I just love that example, and I wish more people would be having fun, and that would inspire more and more people to put fun as a core value and to share it and to just live that beautiful experience that's life. Even when there's hardship, fun is always a light at the end of the tunnel.
And do you want me to finish by a quote before the end of the session?
Yeah, if you have one, sure.
Sure, I have one. It's not an anime, this one, or yeah, I can have one for an anime. I think it was, if I remember well, it was Walt Whitman that said, and I'm going to finish by that: "Do anything, but let it produce joy."
Ooh. Well, thanks, Milton. It's an amazing quote. Whitman.
Whitman.
Thanks, Whitman.
The
I love it. I love it.
yeah.
Don't do
So
anything, but let it produce
do
joy.
anything, but let it produce joy.
Well, I'm gonna end on mine after that, which is just be yourself and have fun.
So again, everyone, if you liked it, share it with your friends. Whatever you find us, put on comments, anything that you want. We'll start wrapping up comments and certainly answer in the next podcast on what you were saying and thinking about that episode. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, everyone. Have a great